I think we struggled a little bit for some energy. I mean, they came in, they slowed the game down. Clearly, they got numbers behind the ball. We were very slow in our circulation of the ball. Whenever you circulate the ball slow, it's very difficult to find gaps, find ways to get through them. And they're forcing us around them. And when we were trying to go around them, we were playing too slow, and they were able to close us off on the sidelines. Anytime we looked to try to get on the break, again, it was maybe one pass forward followed by a back pass and another back pass, and we weren't able to get out in the open. They did a decent job of getting initial pressure and recovering and getting numbers behind, especially the center of the field. And we were too slow to get out. A couple of times when we were able to get out, we had things that looked like promising attacks, and then we break them down. We break down with either a bad touch, a bad pass, a bad decision. And that was, sort of the day. We played like we were a little bit underwater, maybe fatigued, the third game in seven days. But no excuse, then the ball needs to move faster. We don't need to necessarily run more. The ball needs to move faster, and we need to move at the right times into the right spaces, and we lack that connection a little bit today.
Greg, you seem to be digging a hole for yourself with giving up goals like that. You know more about defending than we do. What's the problem back there?
For me, it's anything that's in and around the box. We need to be more personal. We need to be locked in on guys. I know in the past these guys have worked a little bit on taking zones. I'm not a fan of zones. I'm a fan of you got to be up in the guy's space, and you got to fight for the ball. And at the worst case scenario, if you don't fight for the ball, you're knocking him off balance, and he doesn't get a clean header. And on the first goal, Connor slipped away from us, and if he slips away, he's gonna put it away. On the second one was a set piece that we sort of cleared, which is always dangerous because then guys think the plays and the lines are cleared and they leave their responsibilities. And the second they left their responsibilities, the ball was whipped back into the box, and then we're scrambling because we don't have people where they should be. So that's about discipline and staying with a play and seeing out your responsibility until the ball is out, like literally out of danger, and then we step up our lines and we reorganize back into our shape. But that one we just didn't see out the play, and it bit us. And it's those little things that continue to happen game in and game out right now that are getting us. In this game, if you do all the little things well, you give yourself a chance to win. And right now we're not doing the little things well. Sometimes we're trying the more complicated things, but we don't need to do that right now. We need to do all the little things well and get back to basics and get back to very simple things. And build some confidence off of that and build some unity. Right now it's a little bit complicated for us.
When we saw Bradley Orr leaving the training center yesterday, he was moving pretty slowly. How far under the weather was he with that toe injury? Was it a tough call to play him? I know you didn't have a lot of choice.
Yeah, I mean, the choice is experience or no experience, really. I mean, that was the choice on the day. Bradley he's sore, but with the proper treatment and prior to the game, he's mobile. He can do what he needs to do. But again, there's sort of limited choice, and we need a voice in the back. We've got a very young back line, and without some sort of voice, it puts a lot of responsibility on their shoulders. So the goal there was to have Bradley communicating, trying to help everybody out around him and even the guys in front of him, keeping some protection in front of him. That was the objective. And it wasn't always right, for sure. We again faced our fair share of counterattacks that felt like they were going to be something. We did a decent job of turning what looked like dangerous situations into nothing, but there's far too many situations that could have been more right now, and we need to eliminate that.
What are the positives that you get from your first 2 games as coach?
Well, I think the guys are, they're ready to work, and they're willing to work, and they're open. There's quality within the team. I think right now it's about identity, clarity, and I think just a little bit of confidence. It's building confidence. Sometimes some of the little things that we're missing on the field, missing passes, missing touches, little things like that, are not because they're not good players or not capable. Sometimes that's just a little bit of confidence. I still think it's a good group. I believe in the group wholeheartedly. I'm looking forward to the group continuing to grow as guys get healthy. That's going to take place over the next week. And we'll get to work and we'll set a clear pathway for the next 8 games. I look forward to a full week of training, to be fair. So.
Colin Warner came out late in the first half. It looked like he was injured. What's his status? What's the extent?
He was cramping up. Again, 3rd game in 7 days with some travel in the middle. He was cramping up. I don't know to the extent. Again, it's until we get imaging and find out more. I don't know any clarity. I haven't spoken to the trainers after the match, but my hope it's nothing more. I mean, that's been the way things have been going, and so I hope it's nothing more than that. Yeah, my understanding is he could be cleared to go for next week. We'll see how he develops over the course of the week.
Greg, 3 games without a goal. At what point do you start worrying about the offense or lack of it?
I don't think it's a worry. I think it's more about the whole game, right? If we defend better, we give ourselves a better chance. If we move the ball quicker, we give ourselves a better chance. We need to be a little bit more, a little hungrier in front of the goal. But we need to. I think it's all connected. I don't think it's just one thing. I think we have guys who can score goals. So I think it's the connection of all the pieces that we need to be better at, and we need to be better again at the little things. We need to get better service. Sometimes even set pieces and some of our crosses need to be better. Everything's got to tighten up. You know, at the end of the day, everything's got to tighten up. But we have guys who can score goals. So.
Greg, how do you motivate this team and encouragement and ensure that they're not too down on themselves after 3 losses in 7 games?
Yeah, I think it's given clarity, clarity of plan, clarity of our direction, clarity of roles. A lot of times when you lack of confidence comes from uncertainty. And right now, I think with the change and with everything, there's might be a little bit of uncertainty, and I think we need to have a week of training to get some real clarity. And then you have a foundation from which you can fall back on that you trust, and then you can move forward. Right now, we're seeking that within the group, obviously, with everything that's gone on, and a good week of training will help us. And I think that's the building blocks of confidence ultimately.
Greg, there was another story from England today saying that Jermaine does not want to be here. He could have sent out a tweet offering his support for the club. But is there not a way the club can put this behind them? Can Jermaine not tell us what his future is, that he wants to be part of Toronto FC? If he was to do that, then the story would go away and we could all concentrate on what's happening on the football field.
Yeah, well, I agree. We're in communication with him now, with Jermaine, at least every other day, if not every day. Those conversations are going well. I think a lot of this is behind us. We know he'll be back on the 20th to join our camp, and we look forward to him getting back. I mean, clearly he's a difference maker and a big part of the club and a big part of this team. And so I think a lot of that has been sorted out, and I look forward to him being back on the 20th, that's for sure.
Do you expect him to be healthy on the 20th?
The anticipation is he'll be back into training on the 20th, and hopefully soon thereafter. I know his regiment that he's supposed to be going through now is intense, so hope is that he shows up fit and ready to just sharpen up on within the team.
Tried a few different things today. Rosario on the wing. Kyle Becker came in, changed kind of the complexion of the midfield. Is there a new tactical approach that you're taking to these games as you're moving forward?
A little bit. I mean, teams are going to approach us differently, right? They've recognized that our strengths are to break out on the counter. And so when we do that, we have to play in tight spaces in the attacking half of the field, and then through possession, we can't be our own worst enemy. And so we need some guys who are comfortable in popping into gaps and receiving balls under pressure and still being able to kind of play make a little bit. And so Dwayne does that for us. That's something that Osorio did. So that's somewhat similar players in terms of style in a way. So in terms of changing overall style, I think again this team was put together a certain way with certain characters, with certain qualities, and we can't stray too far away from that because that's who the guys are. So. But I think a little mix. I think Kyle came in and I think he added something to the game. I thought he had a solid match, and it's good to see. It's also to see all the pieces out there. Kyle hasn't been in many matches lately, so it's to get some guys out and to see what they bring to the table as we assess going forward who all we have available to use.